Hey everybody, welcome back to the Huddle, the Review.com's weekly high school football show. I'm Executive Editor Rob Todor of the Alliance Review, joined as always by Mike Brown, our sports editor. And this is our playoff preview edition. We have 4 teams in the postseason for the Ohio High School Athletic Association football playoffs. Say that 4 times real fast. And let's start with the Friday night games, Mike. In Division III, Louisville gets a home game, and maybe one of the toughest draws for a home team in the entire tournament. They have the Aurora Green Men.
Absolutely, and the Green Men come from a great conference. There's good games every week in that conference, and Louisville is going to have to bring it Friday night at home. I would think Louisville's a slight underdog in that game, even though they're at home.
Aurora, a great running team, but they can also throw the ball, and they could beat you with sort of like a Cardinal Mooney, a team that I'm kind of familiar with. They'll run, and then when you bring 9 guys into the box, then they're gonna hit that long pass and beat you that way. But they also play great defense.
Right, and I think they've been in the playoffs, Rob. I believe something like 6 or 7 of the last 8 years. I mean, they, as much as Louisville's been in the playoffs, Aurora's been in more recently.
Yeah, former state champion just a few years ago. But Louisville, let's not discount the Leopards. They have same good offense. A little banged up, a little with the injuries, but a great defensive team as well.
Right, and you can never count them out at home. Louisville, I'd like to know what their winning percentage is at home, but I'll tell you what, all things on the line, Louisville finds a way to get it done when they're playing at home, so that should be a great matchup on Friday night.
Okay, the other matchup in Division III is the Marlington Dukes, and they go on the road. Now, this is a really tough game for them because they're going to face a really good Hubbard Eagle team. We never want to compare scores, but Marlington lost to Poland in week 1, and Hubbard pretty much took care of business against Poland later in the season.
Right, and I hear Hubbard is big. They have a Division I running back who's, they play on the turf over there, so they're fast, and they're playing in their home environment there. So, again, I think our area team there, Marlington, is probably the underdog in this game. Not to say they can't win this game. I think they're going to have to play well to win it, though.
Well, and I think one thing that Marlington's got in their favor is a lot of senior leadership. With the quarterback and all those guys coming back from last year, they were kind of overlooked by the Division I recruits that the Dukes have had the last few years.
Sean Kirk's had a great year for Marlington, both running and throwing the football.
Yeah, and so, but having said that, I think the consensus is maybe, or the feeling is, that Marlington has trouble with speed teams, and that's sort of what they're coming up against on Friday night.
Right, they're going to have to pay close attention to what they need to do, be very disciplined on defense, don't leave any holes open, because I think if you leave this team a crease, they're going to be gone.
Yeah, and get off to a quick start. If Marlington can get out to a 14-0 lead, let's say, that obviously gives them a great chance because they're so well disciplined offensively with ball control offense. All right, so let's talk about Division VII. Western Reserve actually picked up enough computer points that they could have qualified, I think, in several of the Division V regions. They're clearly the odds-on favorite, but they're at home on Saturday.
Right, they have Garfield Heights Trinity. In my mind, this team has the most staying power of our area teams that are in the playoffs. And I think the journey begins now. I think Andy Hake has taken them to different levels the last few years. I think they want to take it to another level this year. They certainly have the personnel to do that with Nick Allison, a quarterback. My goodness, had a great year. Velasquez, the receivers, had a great year. They've got a good running game. They're big on both sides of the line. That's a good football team, Rob.
Yeah, week 9 they struggled a little bit, I guess, if you want to say that they against a Mineral Ridge team that finished about 500. But then they played Wellsville last week to finish out, go for a 10-0 season, and they looked pretty good. I mean, they dominated that game. Yep. So I think maybe there was some question mark after that week 9 performance against Mineral Ridge, but they certainly turned it around.
And there's a lot of excitement in Berlin Center. I've got a chance to see some of their playoff games last year. It's great to watch a community come together with one of their team in the football playoffs. That is a special thing. I'm going to be out there Saturday night. I can't wait to see the crowd at Berlin Center on Saturday night.
Yeah. Our 4th playoff team is St. Thomas Aquinas. I don't want to suggest they have a long trip to make, but they've actually got to go through 2 states to get to the stadium. Brookfield High School plays right on the border in Masury, Ohio. You old-time Ohio State fans remember the name Marcus Merrick.
Yes.
Marcus Merrick played at Brookfield High School. He led them to a state championship in 1978. And they're a traditionally athletic team. They've had a recent run of success, probably in the last 4 years or so. So, I think that's maybe the closest matchup of the 4 games that we have.
This is going to be a coin flip in this game. Could come down to a mistake here and there late in the game. They've both been in the playoffs the last 3 years. They both can throw. They both can run. A great matchup, I think. I don't know which way that's going to go, but that'll be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, Anthony Meglin at St. Thomas having a great year at quarterback.
Absolutely. He's really been the key for them because they were worried coming into the year, Rob. He'd lost so much from those playoff teams the past 2 years, and Meglin has just taken over, and they've got a great air game at St. Tom this year.
Yeah, very impressive win over Central Catholic last week in Week 10. So that's the lineup for this weekend. We'll have previews throughout the week in the Alliance Review print edition. We'll have coverage at both the Alliance Review and the Review.com. We'll have video of games on the Review.com as well, so check all that out. And for Mike Brown, this is Rob Todor. We'll see you at a game this weekend.